Hello and welcome back to another very quick video. In this video, we are going to talk about categorical independent variables. Specifically, we will talk about how to create a binary variable. I'm going to go ahead and show you two different ways to do that on SPSS. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop over to our SPSS spreadsheet. I'll see you over there. All right, so for this little tutorial, we are going to go ahead and use that marathon data set, which you should be able to find in Canvas. So what we're going to do is first just take a quick look at the data view. And we see that we have a few continuous variables and then some categorical variables, and this is what we're going to focus on here. So what we're thinking about for this lesson today is we have this variable that has more than two categories. And let's say that we want to compare one group against everybody else. That's why it's binary, is because we have one group and everybody else. And we will see when we go over to the variable view, let's go ahead to the age and go over to our values, and we see that we have three categories. We have a group of runners from ages 20 to 29, from 30 to 39, and 40 to 49. But what if we want to compare the group of our 20 to 29-year-olds with everybody else who ran the marathon? Or we want to compare our 40 to 49-year-olds with everybody else. So in order to do that, we need to create a binary variable, the group we're interested in and everybody else. So that's what we're going to do. And like I mentioned before, we are going to do it two different ways. So let's go ahead and start that. The first thing we're going to do is come up here to transform, and then we're going to recode into different variables. So click on that. And again, we're focusing on the age. So we're going to move them over, and then we're going to create a new name for them. And we're just going to create it age, and we're going to say 20 to 29, and then we're going to label it ages 20 to 29, and then we can change that. Now we can see that I kind of piped it over, so that's going to be its new name. And then we need to go to our old and new values. Then this pops up with our recode into different variables, old and new. And if you remember, our group 20 to 29-year-olds was group 1. So we want group 1 to stay group 1. So we're going to say 1 to 1. We're going to add. And then group 2 is going to go over to group 0. And group 3 is also going to go over to group 0. So now we have our new groups. And then we're going to hit continue. And then we're going to click OK. And now we see in our variable view, we have this new variable. And if we go over to our data view, we have a new column with our age 20 to 29. And then we have it with zeros and ones, people who are in that age group and people who are not. So with this method of creating binary variables, we have to do that for each group of people. So let's go ahead and run through it with the next one. I won't talk as much for these, but I'll still show it in case it helps for the repetition. And I just realized that was 20 to 20, but that's all right. It did it up there correctly. So we're going to do that. Then we need to get rid of these. So now our 1 goes to 0 and our 2 goes to 1. 3 is also going to go to 0. Change that to make that correct. So sorry about that. All right, let's do the last one. All right, so now we have our 3 new variables, we have our labels. Again, the decimals, I just like to get rid of those. That's just a personal preference. And if we go to our data view, we'll go over here and we see our zeros and ones and we see our new variables. So obviously that takes a long time and it's a little bit tedious. And so there is a shorter, faster way to do that. So let's go ahead and do that shorter way now. So what we just did is also called dummy variables. And so we're going to go to transform and we're going to go to create dummy variables. So we'll click on that. And then we're going to go to our original group because that's the one that has all the information. So we want to go to our original group and then we have to have this root name. So I'm just going to say age. I'll move that over so it's fully in the screen and click OK. Now notice in our data view how it populated that. So we have age underscore 1, underscore 2, and 3. And notice that if we compared the 20 to 29, it's the age 1. So we can compare 0s and 1s. And our middle group is the same as age 2, and our last group is the same as age 3. So that did that very quickly. Let's go ahead and make it a little more clear though. So we'll come over to our variable view, and then we can use our values to help us relabel our variable name. So our value over here is age 20 to 29. So I'm just going to put 20 underscore to 29. All I'm doing is double clicking on this. And so now I have 30 to 39. And then I just double click on this, and I'm going to change it to 40 to 49. The only thing that you have to remember is you can't have spaces and all those things. But we have our label over here. If we get confused, we just refer to this. And then I'm going to change these also. There we go. Let's go over to our data, and now we can see that they're the same. So our 20 to 29 group matches over here, middle group, and so on. Hopefully you feel like you have one more tool in your toolbox as you move forward with SPSS and statistics in general, and hopefully that little shortcut for dummy variables is something that you can utilize in the future as well. So I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye for now.